Hi, welcome to the new Sparks 1524 studio. I am Nathaniel Miller. Good to see you again, and welcome to Pensacola, Florida. I've said that before, but now I have a proper studio to be working in. Not just for video, this is also where I produce all the wonderful things, such as the Accidental Detective Mystery Series, book 3 of which, And So It Begins, comes out April 20th next year. I'll also be developing a science fiction series over the next year or two, so keep an eye out for that. This is, however, clearly where I'll be doing my video work as well. Took me a little bit to get it kind of right. When we did that test video last week, the room was still disheveled, but I realized I had to paint part of the ceiling to make sure the background stayed nice and even. Work on the light, because this light, you can see it reflecting off my hand. Originally made my salt and pepper, more salt than pepper hair, glow like I was beginning an apotheosis to the gods, which might be good for my life, but makes for very distracting video. And of course, I had to work on the audio side. I have clearly a deep baritone voice. It echoes easily. I'm in a small room, and unlike in Silverdale, Washington, where my desk was in the middle of the room, this time I'm against the wall, because I bumped my own desk and caused camera shake. So I had to baffle the sound along this front wall using a number of items, some acoustical panels, some personal artifacts like my old sea bag, a couple of my flight deck jerseys, cloth is good because it helps to dampen down sound and prevent that echoing. Also got a beautiful little crochet blanket here of turtles done by my friend Michelle Foltz. Check out her store on Etsy. Amazing work, and if you need to get in contact with her, let me know and I'll pass on your information. She does excellent work. Just a second, I will take you on a little video tour of the studio, but it took a little bit to get in. However, and I had meant to have this done last week, but when I realized I needed to do the extra painting and do a little more work than I thought originally for the sound, well, you just do it. Not a big deal. A lot of people that I mentioned having to do this to were telling me, "Oh my God, that's so much work. How do you think of this?" Well, I think of it because this is my job. I've been doing this for over 20 years. Ask an auto mechanic how they can, pull an engine block in a couple hours, change the cylinder head gasket, get the car back together, and they just shrug because it's what they do. I've actually improvised studios on Navy ships at sea before. Entire professional level studios that were completely improvised out of bed sheets. Clever use of overhead lighting, including pieces of cardboard to kind of direct that lighting, which that was quite a story because doing that on board USS Ponce actually led to helping found a Navy schoolhouse a few years later. But that's a story for another time in an On the Waterfront column. However, let me take a brief moment and take you on a video tour of the Sparks 1524 studio. Welcome to the Sparks 1524 studios here in the Emerald Duck. And yes, that is made from old license plates, barn wood, and Ford car keys. As you head upstairs to come to the professional spaces, you'll first pass through the aviation alcove, where I have a number of my artifacts recalling my Navy career. The airplanes I worked on, the ships I deployed upon, the cranial I wore while working on the flight deck, and any F-14 technician or former tech will recognize the dreaded speed handle. Coming upstairs, you will see, of course, the studio door. Now, the film reels you see up there are from actual old home movies, 8mm movies my family shot years ago, and the still photo reels, those are from developing cans I used in the Navy back in the day. The film on that one reel is dummy film that's been exposed to the light, has nothing in it. And you can see where the ghost walked through my paint. It's a friendly ghost, hasn't shown up since. That's my VF-213 flight deck jersey. It went with the cranial downstairs. Some of my Florida artifacts, because I am a Florida boy. Texas native, but a Florida boy. Got the baffling panels for sound and that crochet blanket by Michelle Foltz. If you're interested in her work, she has a store on Etsy and I can put you in touch with her. She is phenomenal. That is my sea bag, which I spent 14 years putting patches on. Another flight deck jersey from when I was on the USS Ponce, and now you can see the background studio wall. I'm going to get some risers, and those tables are all going to be raised up so they make a little bit of, so you see them in the background and not just their tips. But this is where the magic will happen, and of course, there's the light that I baffled so it doesn't shine down on my head. And when I get bored or when it's raining, I have my exercise gear in here. So that is where the magic happens. I should say this, because I'm still here, is where the magic happens. This is where the books are written. The columns are drafted, the videos filmed, or at least the studio part of the videos are filmed. Over time, I'll be glad to talk about some of these artifacts. One I would like to introduce, because it's a family artifact. This is my Italian side. This painting That was done by my grandmother. Sadly, she passed away last year, old age. She had a very long life, and she passed from old age, not from COVID like some of the other people lost. But she did an Italian scene a long time ago, and I inherited it, and it went beautifully with these two pieces of artwork of Mount Vesuvius that I both got in Naples back in 2016 and 2017 when I was over teaching a couple of classes. Thought it made a nice touch. The paddle was given to me by my fellow instructors at the Defense Information School when I taught there, and the license plates are cool. I just think they're cool. Plus, all of those have a family history, one way or another. Basically, everything has a story. And that's the point of Sparks 1524. That's the point of where I've managed to get my life steered into. It's taken 30 years of work, but I'm a storyteller. We are our stories. Our stories tell us. If you know the story of your family and your country, you know where you've come from, the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent, and it makes it easy to decide where you want to go. Everything is a story. We communicate through story. Story is the longest running piece of human culture through our species history. Taken me 30 years to get to a point where I could be self-employed as a storyteller, so it's something I take very seriously and I'm very grateful for. It's been an interesting journey coming from Washington State to here. And actually Sparks 1524 goes back before that because I was blogging all the way back in 2017 when I retired from the Navy. It's been a long journey, been an interesting story. But now a new part of that story is starting here in scenic, historic Pensacola, and I look forward to sharing it with y'all as it goes forward. But for the moment, it's time to get this first video wrapped up, get this in the column posted so everybody who follows me, all 7 or 8 of you, know that I am still alive and still producing content. I appreciate your patience as I've gone forward with this project. I look forward to bringing you more content in the future. Until we meet again next week, remember to always go and do great things. Thank you for your attention. I will see you soon.